Game Becker. Two games all.
So 2 serves from each man and 2 games all. No sign of a break thus far.
$15 love.
And the 2 most senior stellar competitors in the field this year, these two. Edberg playing for the 12th time, Becker for the 10th.
$30 love.
Out.
40 love.
And in all those years, Stefan has been twice before in the final, that losing one to Becker in '88 and a winning one against Wheaton in '91.
Game Edberg. Edberg leads 3 games to 2.
Well, the match so far being dominated by serve, and mainly because of the quality of the serve. Both players serving exceptionally well, keeping their opponent under pressure. And I also feel that there is an element here the moment that each player has almost too much respect for each other. The long years that they've been playing each other. In fact, I remember them playing even in the junior game when they had the junior masters at Birmingham, the NEC. They had a superb battle even as juniors. So their whole career, which have paralleled each other in many ways, they've been great rivals. And I'm sure over the years that respect for each other has developed.
Do you remember what Dan Maskell said in Birmingham when, after that marvellous 5-set final, Becker just beat Edberg, who even then was serving a lot of foot faults. I think there were about 16 called on him. Dan said,
Time.
I think this young man, talking about Becker, will win Wimbledon within 3 years. 6 months later, he did.
Yes, Dan was always wonderful sitting, listening to Dan, looking at young tennis players. If ever you wanted to pick someone with some talent, he was the man for it. So it's a super day, a perfect day, in fact, for this final.
No breaks then. 2-3, first set.
Out.
15 love.
Well, there's a sight for you. Lord Lichfield, as usual, behind the lens there. came here and won as a 17-year-old. He was christened Boom Boom for the quality of his huge first serves. It's a little more controlled now, a little less explosive. Talking of quotations about Becker, I remember so well when he did win that title, Johan Kriek, his victim in the final, said afterwards, if Boris serves like he did today against me, he will win Wimbledon. Not may, will. And my goodness, he did.
Correction. First serve. Game becker. Three games on.
As perhaps you'd expect, Boris Becker, it seems to me, playing rather better at the moment than I've seen him all this week. Very purposeful. He was very quiet before the match began, keeping himself to himself. So 3-all. And as usual, a lot of celebrities are here. Joan Collins under that rather pretty hat.
Well, the return looks as though it might go out, but look at the shot that Becker plays. Superb shot down the line, right out in the middle of the racket. He couldn't have asked for anything better than that.
(15-30). Flat for service.
Now, will he go again to Becker's backhand? It's certainly Becker's stronger wing on return of serve.
(15-40).
Couldn't do enough with the first volley. So the first chances for a break of serve. There it is.
Game Becker, ball change. Becker leads 4-3. New balls.
Almost a faultless game there from Boris Becker. He really returned so well the Edberg serve. In fact, today he's playing by far better than he's played in the entire tournament. His performance during the tournament has been a little bit patchy, but there's a good return. Edberg having to stretch. It clips the top of the net, which rather favoured Becker that, because it gave him just that little extra time to choose which shot he wanted to play, and the right shot down the line. Perfect concentration. He moves forwards to that return, watching the ball like a hawk. He then has to change direction, and then he carefully puts the ball down the line, cutting out the angle. an excellent game. And I think Stefan Edberg, though, might be just chastising himself a little because he did in that last game miss a backhand volley. But I don't think it was a bad miss. It was that he was surprised by the weight and the power of Becker's shot. And I think that is a feature of the match today, is the weight of shot of Becker's game, all round, not only off the ground, but off the serve, and very solid at the net too. So here he is, 4-3, Becker with a break.
Love.
Making use of the new balls, getting that first one in.
All.
That's double fault.
Out!
15-30.
Well, things change when you're serving with a break ahead for the first time in an important final. Just the suspicion of a little tension in the arm.
Edberg very quick to pick this serve.
15-40.
Let's look at the return. It's a blocked return, just a little bit of underspin, a controlled shot. But it was the placement that won him the point. 2 break points.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Very calm, controlled play by Becker. Look at the
30,
placement
40.
there of that, how the depth of that volley. This wasn't an easy one, but he found the angle. Very controlled. That was a difficult ball. He made it look so easy.
Deuce.
Quick enough across the court there, Edberg. He certainly speeded up this week. He and Tony Pickard, who he's rejoined since the French Championships, have been working hard to get that extra yard of pace.
Advantage, Becker. Game, Becker. Becker leads 5-3.
So Becker answers the awkward question of 2 break points quite magnificently. And you'll note, served to the forehand of Edberg on the game point and got what he was looking for on error. 3-5.
30 love.
No sign of a break thus far.
$15 love.
And the two most senior stellar competitors in the field this year, these two. Edberg playing for the 12th time, Becker for the 10th.
Out.
40 love.
And in all those years, Stefan has been twice before in the final, that losing one to Becker in 80.
Game Becker. Two games all.
So two serves from each man, and 2 games 88 and a winning one against Wheaton in 91.
Game Edberg. Edberg leads 3 games to 2.
Well, the match so far